Malaysia on the rise, battling obesity with bariatric surgery. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. Warm welcome to all the Sinar Daily Life and Style podcast listeners and viewers. Together, you are with me, Dr. Nurhamiza Zulkifli, as your moderator to discuss on the topic of obesity and also bariatric surgery. This month, as we celebrate Merdeka Day, the month of August, and we are so blessed that we are living in a country, in a nation which is known as truly is a heaven for the food. Okay, at the same time, it's a melting pot of cuisines and also cultures. But we also have to pause and ponder to reflect of an important health challenges associated with our eating habits. As we reflect back in 2023, where National Health Screening Initiative was done, which revealed that more than half of the Malaysian screen, which is about 53.5%, is either they are obese or they are overweight, where the overweight population, the percentage were about 31% and the obese population were about 22%, which is very, very significantly high. So sadly, because of this, Malaysia now ranks as the number one country in Southeast Asia for obesity, which is not good at all, yeah, Malaysians? Obesity is no longer just about appearance, but it's also associated and also linked with serious conditions such as heart diseases and also diabetes as well as also hypertension. And today we are blessed to have two distinguished panelists. I have a medical expert here on my left-hand side. This is Dr. Shukri Jahit, Muhammad Shukri Jahit. He's a Consultant Upper Gastrointestinal and also a Consultant General Surgeon from Institute Cancer Negara Putrajaya, who has vast experience in bariatric surgery. He's not only dealing with bariatric surgery, also he's an expert in dealing with upper gastrointestinal diseases as well, including cancer. Other than doing surgery, he's also an expert in advising, giving nutritional advices. He's the president of the Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition Society of Malaysia, PENSMA, and he's an executive board member of both the Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition Society of Asia, PENSA, and Aspen PENSA. Welcome to our podcast, Dr. Shukri.
Thank you, Miza. Thank you.
And on my left hand most, I don't think he needs any further introduction. This is Professor Datuk Zamzani, which is also famously known as Chef Zam. So he's a well-known culinary figure who underwent bariatric surgery almost 15 years ago, right, Chef? Almost that?
I did it in 2007.
Okay. So it's been quite a long
18 years, I think.
Yes. And he has lost almost about 100 kilos, if I'm not mistaken. It's about that, or 80 kilos?
About 50.
50 kilos.
Plus,
okay, 50 kilos that he has lost. And he has been able to maintain his weight until the present day today. Thank you so much, Datuk, for coming. For both of our panel. I know that Mr. Shukri has been he's been operating for the past few days, every day except for today. So we're so blessed to have these two of our panels here. So without wasting any more time, we shall dive into this important topic. We'll kick off with Dr. Shukri first. I always start the conversation with the expert medical panels, okay? Since Malaysia has topped the chart, being the number one for the highest obesity rates in Southeast Asia, maybe Dr. Shukri can explain the health risks associated with obesity. I mean, beyond the just physical appearances, like we mentioned, the metabolic diseases as well, hypertension, diabetes, and also maybe you could elaborate further from your perspective. What are the main driving factors of this? Is it just because of purely the high calorie intake that the Malaysians are taking, our nasi lemak, our teh tarik, and also our roti canai? Or is there other contributing factors such as genetics, Malaysian genetics, or our sedentary lifestyle and lack of exercises?
Well, thank you, Miza, once again for inviting me, and Sinar Harian for inviting me to this podcast. Well, that is a mouthful kind of question that you throw to me. Well, let me start from the very beginning. Okay, there are people who are lean, or I wouldn't use the word skinny lah, okay, lean, but they are not healthy, all right? There are also people who are obese, but they are healthy. So the question here, what makes us, becoming unhealthy because of the diseases that is related to either obesity or other diseases? Particularly when we are talking about diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, issues with cancer, certain cancer that is related to obesity. So all matters counted to this problem is actually stem from the problem of inflammation that arises from the fat.
Okay.
So we have good fat, we have bad fats. Okay, so these bad fats are the one that drives the inflammation. Okay, that brings about all the issues with regards to obesity-related diseases as well as cancer. There are at least 8 to 10 cancer that's related to obesity. Okay, so if you have, a very bad kind of cholesterol or very bad fat in your body, and this inflammation continue on, day to day, month, and on yearly basis, and you do not do anything about that. Okay, and you must also remember that year after year we are also aging, and you are losing your muscle. So your metabolic rate, metabolic rate is going down, your inflammation is going up. So this will end up with all this, what we call as metabolic syndrome that comprises hypertension, diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, and other associated issues. And if you ignore this, definitely it will affect the other organs like your heart. You might get, heart failure, heart attack, kidney problems, things like that. So, again, try to answer your question just now. Why do we Malaysian, with this kind of culture, eating culture, why do we have this issue of obesity being one of the problems that drive a lot of comorbidities among Malaysians? Is that I wouldn't blame the food. Okay, I would say it's the lifestyle. Okay, well, food is something that is for us to enjoy. God gave us the ability to eat and ability to enjoy. We have all these senses. When you see the food, you smell the food, you taste the food. These are kind of enjoyment. But the thing is, we do not eat in moderation, and we do not burn, the excess calorie that we have taken in. And to couple with this problem, the environmental factors, sedentary lifestyle, inactive. You spend a lot of time in the car because of the traffic congestion. We hardly walk. Okay, what more to say if whether you exercise or not? So it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance to maintain healthy lifestyle with diet as well as physical activity and exercise.
Okay, so basically it's like the input and output. So whatever that goes into your body and how much the expenses in terms of how much calorie has been burned. So you have to have that to achieve a healthy, I would say, body weight and healthy lifestyle. You have to have that negative. So you burn more than what you consume. Yep. All right. Okay, so let's move on to Chef Zam. Okay, could you just share how your life was prior to before you underwent bariatric surgery? I mean, what was your turning point or your main motivation that drives you to actually embark in this bariatric surgery?
All right. I have always been a heavy kid since I was 10 years old or so. And I saw as I was growing up, and I tend to it could also be because I was a victim of a bully when I was growing up. From primary school, it went on to the secondary school, and I think, and also I was the youngest in the family. There are two of us. I was the youngest in the family and a little bit pampered, maybe, or it could also be an escape route. Escape route for me to get away from the elements of being bullied at school, not only by my fellow pupils, but also by teachers. So I ate and I ate and I ate, and there was no turning back. I remember when I think in secondary school, we were reading. I remember I read this particular magazine. Remaja, if I'm not mistaken, by Karang Kraft. if I'm not mistaken. And there was a page, there was an article written about going on a diet to lose weight using a green apple. So I cut it up, I pasted it on the wall and tried to eat apple. Of course, it did not work lah. I mean, the influence from magazines and things like that. Huh? Then after that, I kept on growing and growing and growing until there was a point that I thought I wanted to lose weight, but wanting and needing, and whether or not you actually embark into doing it is two different things, kan? So I remember I think when I was 15 years old, I was already 90 kilos, but I joined aerobic classes at that time, but of course that did not help lah, because like you mentioned just now, input and output, it has to be somewhat, input has to be less than the input has to be less than the output. You got to burn more in order for you to lose weight instead of just taking in more. Then to cut the story short, I went to study in London. Then I at that time I was already yes, it was in London. I was already 136 kilos, doctor. 136 kilos. I mean, when I was growing up, of course everybody would say, "Oh, so cute," and things like that. I mean, in a way, encouraging me to eat more. Maybe, I don't know. But at the same time, I was having difficulties. I was put on metoprolol for a few years and Lipitor for a few years. Then I said, well, it's time to find some alternatives instead of exercising, because I did not exercise at all at that time. So I Googled and I found a new discovery at that time. It was in 2004, if I'm not mistaken, 2004. And there was something called bariatric surgery. I am an extremist when it comes to doing something. Either I do it well or I don't do it at all. That's the kind of person I am, and the way I operate. So, but at that time, the cost was £5,000.
That was in London.
It was in London, £5,000. And of course, being a student, I didn't have that much money lah, kan? So I just buried the idea of having it done lah. So I came back here and continued working. And there was one day that I thought, I remember the search that I did while I was in London. So I Googled it again, and it happened. I'm sure you remember Professor Dr. Jasmine Ali Yaakob. So I just went straight. No. It was Dr. Najiha, plastic surgeon in Hospital Besar Kuala Terengganu, who referred me to Prof. Jasmine. Because I went back to Terengganu. I'm from Terengganu. I went back to Terengganu. I went and I, in a way, threatened her, please let me lose weight, help me to lose weight. Because I thought by doing liposuction, I would be able, that was a wrong conception. I thought if she did a liposuction on me, I would be able to lose weight and become normal again after so many umpteen years, kan? Well, she says that's impossible. Let me refer you to this doctor. At first, I was upset because she refused to do liposuction on me. But actually, she did me a big favor. So I went to HUKM at that time. Prof. Jasmine was at HUKM, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Okay.
But he presented to me like a few methods, if I'm not mistaken. But I chose the one with no point of return, which was the stomach stapling.
Okay.
I don't know if that is if something new came out, which is more advanced. I'm sure there are now. I did not do sleeve. I did not do balloon. I said I want, because like I told you earlier, I am an extreme kind of person. If I were to do it, I'll do the most, something that I cannot reverse. Okay. Because I know I love to eat.
Okay.
It's like all or nothing. It's like that kind of.
Yeah, it's all or nothing, really.
Okay.
You take the risk.
I did. I said, nak mati-mati lah. I don't care. You know what? I was teaching at KDU College at that time.
Right.
And I just went in one day. I just went in to HUKM. I checked myself in. I did not even tell anyone. And I did it the next day. I think that night I texted my head of department. I said, I'm doing this. Are you crazy?
Yeah, because at that time, I think the
It was
surgery,
almost
bariatric
unheard
surgery.
of.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, nobody actually practiced that, especially in
Right.
Malaysia. It's kind of like a new.
I would just like to ask, Dr. Shukri, is there still a stigmata and misconception when we speak about, when we talk about bariatric surgery? Some people think that it's an easy way out. I mean, a shortcut. So how would you respond to this misconception?
Oh, definitely, it's a big misconception because we live nowadays in a world of social medias. Okay, there's a lot of information that people can always Google and search on the internet, and some are true ones, and majority are misleading. Okay, now when we talk about stigma and whether this obesity is actually one problem, or is it a metabolic problem, is it environmental problem, is it because you overeat? It actually depends on individual. Not all people have the same metabolic, endocrine, and basal metabolic rate. Okay, so that's the reason why when in our practice, when I assess my bariatric cases, we would like to phenotype them. Phenotype means we will group them according to the type of the body, depending on the basal metabolic rate, the kind of fat they have, and how good and of the muscle, the muscle that they have. Sometimes you have good amount of muscle, but you do not have quality muscle.
Correct.
Okay, because muscle is a very important organ in the body to increase the metabolic rate. So I'm sure you have heard people who kau ni makan banyak tapi tak gemuk-gemuk because they have high metabolic rate.
Right.
Okay, so we have to phenotype them accordingly, and not all patient, once you have grouped them according to the phenotype, not all patient will require the similar kind of treatment, be it bariatric surgery or medical treatment or any kind of treatment. But having said that, the most important thing still lifestyle changes, healthy lifestyle, and dietary modification. So these still remain the same for all type of patients, whether they are about to go for bariatric surgery or after bariatric surgery or even without bariatric surgery.
Correct.
Yeah.
A lot. Like I totally agree with you. It's about lifestyle change. You not like when you go through or undergo a surgery, you can still eat like before. You still like behave like before around food. No, you have to change everything because it's no longer the same.
Okay, so I think what Dr. Shukri will try to say is that the fundamentals, the most important fundamentals that the patient should understand is who are battling with obesity is these two, which is your lifestyle modification and also your dietary eating habits. Because whether you are embarking in, it's going to go through the bariatric surgery or after bariatric surgery, or you are those group which maybe you can try with the medication and lifestyle modification, you still need these two fundamental elements to be, you have to be strong in these two fundamental elements, yeah? So is there any other criteria when you, if someone who's struggling with obesity, what are the criteria that actually you would say, or this person is suitable for example, medical treatment, or this one would be bariatric surgery?
Obesity is actually a complex problem. As I mentioned just now, it's the issue of inflammation, the type of fat that you have, amount of good quality, amount of muscle. But apart from all these things, apart from dietary and lifestyle, there are other components. The most important thing is your psychosocial problems. Okay, so a lot of us have issues with managing stress, having good amount of sleep, right, and the peer pressures. For example, in the office, even at home. Okay, now childhood obesity is in the increasing trend because of, just look at the parents. Okay, so most of our patients, we can see if both parents are obese, the children are almost going towards that kind of lifestyle and that kind of issues, you see. So psychosocial problem is one of the most important thing that we need to assess, and their preparedness. Okay, sometimes it also depends on the support that they have. You know, we have a lot of patients that comes from broken family, you know, that they do not have the support. Support doesn't only come from financial part, but it also emotional, and all along the way as the patient going through this kind of treatment.
Also, doctor, I think it also has got a lot of to do with the social status of a family, because sometimes if you are from maybe a B40, I'm not saying all B40 are miskin or something like that, then, but B40 family, most of the time, they just grab whatever they can get their hands on.
You're right. In fact, in medical data, in medical research and literatures, did mention that psychosocial status of a patient did what you call display an important role in the development
in
of obesity.
shaping of the That's true. That's true.
Okay, so now we have known the criteria, mainly in the psychosocial. This is what Dr. Shukri has mentioned, one of the most important criteria when you want to address the patient for a bariatric surgery, and their preparedness mentally, emotionally, psychosocially. So let's go into a bit more deeper in terms of technical, in terms of the I mean, we won't go into what will be the steps of the surgery, but
that will be fun.
But we don't have that enough time. Maybe we could have a part 2 of our bariatric and obesity. Maybe Dr. Shukri can elaborate on what are the different types of surgery which are available in Malaysia, and also how do you tailor your patients accordingly to this?
All right. Generally, in the medical field nowadays, whichever part of the world that is practicing bariatric surgery, there are two main what they call this bariatric surgery that we are practicing, is either restrictive or restrictive with malabsorption. Okay, restrictive means you just make your stomach smaller like a tube. This is what we call a sleeve gastrectomy.
Right.
Okay, so it doesn't really change the overall route of the food that usually that you take. It goes into the stomach and then it goes into the small bowel. It doesn't really change. It's just that we make it smaller so that you eat less, because you can't control your craving. So we control it by making your stomach smaller
mechanically.
Okay? Exactly. So this is what we call as restrictive or sleeve gastrectomy. The other one is what we call as restrictive plus malabsorption. It is not really malabsorption, but what we would like to call a hormonal change that will appear after the surgery, and this is what we call as gastric bypass.
Correct.
And what we do in gastric bypass, of course, the restrictive part is to make it smaller, and then we will reroute the entry of the food or whatever that you have taken per oral from going through the first part of the small bowel, rather than going to the first part of the small bowel, it goes directly to the I would say the second part of the small bowel, and these will enhance a lot of hormones and the secretion of insulin, so you can control your metabolic syndrome much better. So basically, restrictive or sleeve gastrectomy is for those patients who doesn't have metabolic syndrome, for example, hypertension, diabetes, dyslipidemia. Basically, it's just obesity with maybe 1 or 2 issues with knee problem, back pain, you know, that kind of
minor ones.
Yes, exactly.
Minor issues.
Yes. And gastric bypass, on the other hand, or what we call as the hormone rerouting procedures plus restrictive, these are for those patients who has metabolic syndrome.
All right. Okay. So sometimes it sounds a bit scary, the gastric bypass, you know. Although we don't go into the details, but yes, of course, it sounds a bit worrying. How did actually, I just want to go back to Chef Zam, since he already embarked in the surgery. Many people might be scared or fear of surgery.
I don't.
So what were your? Not at all. Okay, so because I would just like to ask what were your biggest fears and how did you overcome that? And
My biggest fear, okay, when I went to HUKM, there are 2 wings.
Okay.
Common wing and private wing. My biggest fear was how was I going to be able to pay the bill. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is a surgery?
No, remember, I just came back. I came back
From London.
In 2005.
Okay.
Then when I came back, my apartment was ready. So to receive keys, I had to pay money. And to resume working again, I had to buy a car. And in London, even though I got a teaching scholarship, I had to pay my own living expenses.
Understand.
And the exchange rate was first year 6.0, 7 years 7.0 to a pound. You see, imagine, I was like dry. Then at that time, the surgeon said the maximum charge was only 10,000. I said, then I did some calculation. I said, okay, maybe I could do this. And at the end of the 10 days, the bill came out 21,000. And I was on the wheelchair talking to her I used 2 tubes of morphine. It was very painful.
Right.
So that means the money
That
was
was the
fear.
biggest thing, because for me, I'm okay. My mom used to work. My mom was a hospital KKM staff.
Okay.
I'm used to seeing people like lost their limbs or whatever. Now she worked in the emergency department, emergency ward. So nothing scares me.
So being under the knife didn't scare you. It's just the money.
That was my second one going for GA. The first one was appendix lah. Appendicitis.
So it was the cause
It was the cost.
rather than the post-operative
Yes.
potential
Yeah,
complication.
because I really wanted to lose the weight.
Okay.
I really wanted to lose the weight. It was affecting because I was teaching in the kitchen for so long. But I was very active though. I was not the kind of fatty who's like moves very slow. No. I wasn't like that. I was very active even though I was huge.
Right.
That helps a lot, I think. But I did not expect the pain. Oh God. We even had to do an ultrasound to make sure there was no leakage.
Okay.
Because he told me if there's a leakage,
To go in
you
and
have to go in again. I said, no.
Then another I need to top up on the
but
cost
maybe
again.
I think that was the best decision I've ever done.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we...
But-
Okay, I guess since we've already talked, we are talking about the very heated up discussion regarding the pre-op preparation. So I think
Right.
I'll just pass the second question that I want to ask Shahzam.
yes.
We'll go back to Dr. Shukri for a while. Could you just walk us through the pre-operative preparation for a bariatric surgery patient? Subsequently, after that, can you just also enlighten us regarding the long-term risk and complication? I mean,
Okay.
short-term and also long-term, or
Right.
immediately post.
So-
That I can attest to later on.
Maybe what Prof Zam has actually went through is something that is in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, so nowadays we have more advanced technique, more advanced peri-operative preparation that the patient can enjoy fast recovery as well as less pain.
Right.
Now, in our practice, because we practice a holistic approach in the management of our overweight and obese patient, we have to put the patient through several phases.
Right.
We have 4 phases: phase 1, phase 2, 3, and 4. Phase 1 is what we call as clinic and counseling. So we teach the patient, we counsel the patient, and we coach them everything about healthy lifestyle, diet modification, and most important thing, the barriers
Right.
and limitation they have experienced before. So we do not want to repeat all those mistakes before. And we also teach them what are the drivers of weight gain and weight loss. Okay, and this is very important, and this is done in combination with our other disciplines like the dietitian, the physiotherapist, as well as the counselor.
Right. Physiotherapy as well.
Exactly.
Oh.
And we coach them in the gym.
Oh.
We coach them in the gym because sometimes
them
you
upon.
see sometimes when you have diabetic hypertension, you went to clinic kesihatan, for example, the doctor will tell you you can exercise, you can jaga makan.
But how
to
they don't-
exercise?
yeah,
Yes,
true.
exactly. All right. So we teach them simple, basic steps. Okay. that incorporate both aerobic as well as a resistant exercise, which can be done by almost everyone.
Correct.
Can
And
be
for-
done at home also.
Can be done at home.
Yes,
It
of
has to
course.
be done at
Of
home.
course.
And for those patients who have some physical limitation, we will do some modification. And hopefully during this phase 1, usually we give them about 1 to 2 months. They have to have a target of 5 to 10% fat loss.
Right.
We do not look at the weight. Okay, because everyone
It could be muscle loss as well.
Exactly, exactly. And we do not want muscle loss. Okay, so we are targeting the fat and specifically the visceral fat.
My case had loss.
But you can always regain your muscle. You can regain your muscle. Okay, post-operative, you have to regain your muscle.
Right.
Now, once they have targeted this, they have achieved this targeted 5 to 10% fat reduction, then they will go to phase 2, which is the surgery. And this will take about 2 weeks,
Alright.
where we put them on meal replacement therapy.
Right.
So meal replacement therapy is just that we give them low calorie diet. Why do we replace their normal meal to a formula or what we call, kalau orang Melayu cakap susu lah. But it is not actually susu. It's a specialized formula, a medical formula, so that we can accurately calculate the calorie, but at the same time we are giving them adequate protein. Okay, so this has to be done about 2 weeks.
I think 200 calories per sachet, I think.
It depends on the product. It depends on the product. Some product comes in sachet, some product comes in the can, some product come in ready to drink bottle.
Right.
So it depends.
Right.
All right. So we will work together with our dietitian in giving the advice to our patient. So once this is done, we will also incorporate further intensive exercise. The exercises that we have actually taught them before, we add more intensive exercise. And in phase 2, they have to lose another 5 to 10% of their visceral fat. So this actually help them to actually improve their
Recover better, kan?
cardiac response to
Right.
the stress during the surgery. And for those patients who has sleep apnea, micro sleep, all those issue with hypoventilation, they have to be put on CPAP machine. Okay, so this is the preparation on second phase, and on the third phase they will definitely go for surgery. And nowadays we call what we do to all our major cases going for major surgery is that enhanced recovery after surgery.
Right.
Okay, meaning that they can eat almost immediately after surgery. They shouldn't have any pain. They should be ambulating out of the bed almost immediately the next day. Sometimes when we do the surgery in the morning, by evening they have to already walk.
Right.
All right. So these are the recovery that we targeted from them, and they need to be counseled and understand the flow.
Right.
And in phase 4 is long-term follow-up. Long-term follow-up is a must for everyone. Okay, until when and they decided that okay, they do not want to come for follow-up, then that's the end of the follow-up. But we will usually call our patient for continuous follow-up. And during this follow-up, we rarely monitor the weight, because sometimes you may gain weight because you regain muscle.
True.
Right? So we will monitor the body fluids, we will monitor the fat, particularly visceral fat. We aim to achieve total remissions of all the obesity-related health problems or
Right.
issues like diabetes, hypertension, knee pain. The most common thing, knee pain, tak boleh nak solat, tak boleh nak tunduk, nak lipat kaki, tak boleh. All this has to be resolved almost 100% lah.
Alright.
Okay, so that is how we prepare our patient, and that is how we take care of our patient after the surgery.
Wow. So there are 4 phases, as has been explained quite detailedly by Dr. Shukri. So next, since we already know what is the preparation prior to the operation, so what are after this the risk and also the possible complications that the patient, I mean, when we counsel them, so what are the things that we should they should know?
The most common complications are malnutrition.
Correct.
After the surgery. And that's the reason why during the phase 1 and phase 2, we put high priority on their acceptance and preparedness with regards to understanding the importance of nutrition.
Right.
you can imagine after the surgery, you can eat. You have to eat less because that much only your
Is
stomach
it
can
true
accommodate.
that the new pouch, in my case, was only 50 cc?
Well, it depends on the surgeon who operating on you,
There is no standard.
no, there is no
Standard size.
standard, and it also depends on you. Only you will know how much you can eat.
Right.
So what we normally do is that we will give a patient immediately after the surgery a glass where we will measure
Right.
25, 50, 75, 100. We put in the cup, in the measured cup, water, and we ask the patient to drink at one go.
Okay.
Until they feel it is up till the esophagus. That means that is the amount of their
Right,
stomach
right,
pouch.
right.
So from there, we will tell the patient, look, if your capacity in the stomach now is 75 mils, and that is how big the portion of your plate
Right.
are going to be. So they have to always remember that.
Okay.
Because failure to actually understand the capacity, they will have reflux.
Right.
And which is a common problem after bariatric surgery in majority of patients in Malaysia. They're having this reflux.
I'm still having it sometimes. And I overeat.
Yes,
I know.
when you overeat, definitely you will have reflux.
reflux.
And because of the reflux, they will have malnutrition. So the state of nutritional intake and their vitamins has to be followed up
Yes.
to ensure that they do not have
Any
nutrient
deficiencies.
deficiencies. Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so mainly is the malnutrition that the most important thing that we have already highlighted as the complications and also the reflux. So whatever the amount that you're supposed to eat post-surgery, you have to comply to it because if not, then you will be suffering about the reflux.
Right. In my
right?
case, I was only
Allowed
I was only given permission to eat half of biscuit Mary after 10 days.
No, that's the problem. Nowadays, a lot of patients, when they undergo surgery, they are not told to measure their capacity. And therefore, when they eat, because we come from different cultures,
Yep.
True.
and different type of food that is available at home. And majority of Asian, we eat a lot of carbs,
Right.
carbohydrates. And carbohydrates, when you drink, when you mix carbohydrates and water, it will actually double up.
Yes.
And it will swollen. And that will actually limit the entry
The
of
intake.
the intake of the other micronutrients as well as macronutrients. And that's how you lose your muscle. That's how you become malnourished.
True.
Right.
Like for me, there's side effects like dry skin, and I look so so worn out. I look much older. It took me like a few years
Okay.
to regain the
glow.
freshness.
The glow.
Yes, really. Even my late brother-in-law says, he was picking me up from the airport. Says, nampak macam orang tua.
Yeah,
That's true.
yep.
That's true. Losing hair and everything.
These are all signs of
Malnutrition,
protein deficiencies
right.
and micronutrient deficiency.
True.
So it will take actually a while until you can recover from that. So that's the reason why the preparation from the very beginning, understanding the balanced diet, good amount of macronutrients and wild macronutrients in a very small proportion is very important.
I was not. I remember prior to being discharged from the ward, a dietitian or nutritionist came over to my room.
Yes.
Yeah, and just told me that you have whatever you eat, or maybe eat bubur dulu lah, makan bubur first, but you make sure that you blend the bubur well, and you have to strain it well before you makan. I went home, nobody was at home, I masak Maggi mee. Only one spoonful cannot lah.
But in your case, I think you know, as a chef,
Yes.
you know what to eat.
True.
You know what is
Yes.
healthy food.
But again, that is very true. But again, at the same time, I just had whatever that was available to me at that time.
Yeah.
I went back home. There was nobody at home because I asked my mother to go back kampung so that she doesn't see me. So whatever that was available after leaving the house for 10 days,
Yep.
nothing much fresh.
Okay.
Just the instant noodle. So that same thing. Same goes to whatever I said about B40 group just now. Whatever that's available.
Yep.
Understand. Okay. So like Shamsam have mentioned some sort of the side effect that he encountered that kind like he looks a bit worn out, he's a bit older.
Not a bit, was a lot.
A lot.
And also palpitation.
Okay.
You know, before going to bed, sometimes you just although doa, try to doze off. Suddenly, and you get cold sweat.
Oh.
Then I will run down and eat something sweet, maybe fruits, watermelon, whatever. After a few pieces, and it will be okay again.
Like hypoglycemia.
Yeah, possible.
Palpitation, you cannot ignore it and sleep it off. You cannot. It will not go away until you eat something. Until now, sometimes it happens.
It still happens.
Sometimes it happens.
So other than physical changes that you notice, how about emotionally? I mean,
I feel pretty.
Inside you feel you're glowing.
Yes, I feel more confident.
Okay.
Last time I was, you know what? I would rather be dead than having somebody call me in the public, call my name in the public. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think America also changed me lah. I was very, very shy. I was very, Humpty Dumpty being called at school.
Okay.
And always had a very, very low self-esteem. It was beyond help.
Feeling insecure.
Very insecure and fat, ugly, and all those sorts of things. But when I went to America before the UK lah, when I went to America changed me a lot. But losing weight through bariatric gastric bypass surgery really boosted up my confidence. And at that time, I was already a celebrity chef.
Okay.
That gives me, and you know what? The best part was after I lost my weight, like maybe 10, 20, 30 kilos, I was engaged by many more health-related FMCGs.
Okay. All right.
More rezeki lah.
Alhamdulillah.
To make up for the 21,000.
To make even more than that.
Ayo. But I negotiated, I got it at 18 lah. No, now it's 24,888. You can withdraw from WSP account too.
Oh, you're giving all the tips.
Go and see Dr. Shukri.
So I think having said that, that would be the most rewarding, throughout the journey that you felt more confident.
Plus, I can buy whatever clothes I wanted. Last time, no. Last time, 3XL. And I could only buy things from the US, It was almost impossible for me to walk into any departmental store ke, any kedai baju ke, to get my size. No, impossible.
So maybe before we end, maybe a chef could actually tell us how did you able to maintain your weight for the past
now
2 years?
okay, me, I am not a very disciplined person. I will eat whatever I want to eat. Even before we came here, so I had a little piece of chocolate, white chocolate, not very good lah. But I will eat whatever, doctor. But because of the capacity is very limited, not as much as before. Even though it is now, the portion size I could eat is a bit larger than maybe the previous 10 years.
Yes.
I will gain weight now. I will still gain weight 1, 2, 3, even 4 kilos sometimes. Not because of the main meal that I eat, because whenever I eat the main meal, it's only a little bit. Like nasi is just a little bit, noodles also a little bit, but they are also, amazingly, I don't know what happens, doctor. Sometimes I can eat a lot, really. But I will only gain weight, I think, from all these junks. Chocolate, ice cream, all pastries, cakes. That kind of things that makes me gain a bit more weight because if I'm not disciplined. But at the same time, I counter by going to the gym every day.
That's the most important thing.
Important point there for the audience out there.
I just this week I don't go lah because I just had some PRP and exosome injection yesterday, so I will have to rest for the whole week. I go every single day.
That's good. That's good.
Because I want to eat. Let her close.
Yeah. That's actually the main thing that what Dr. Shukri has mentioned, the post-surgery, these are the things that we have to follow up. It's not just doing surgery and then after that you just can eat whatever you
just
want.
be active.
Yeah.
Just be active.
Yes. I am a strong believer. You eat, you get out. So meaning to say, whatever you can eat, whatever you want, but you have to burn it out.
You have to be responsible with what you
Right.
eat. Yeah.
Indulge life. Don't limit yourself, but be responsible.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we end our session for today, I think just a final question for Dr. Shukri. What advice would you give to the someone who is considering for bariatric surgery but is still hesitant? I mean, they want to do it, but they are not so sure because of fear. I mean, finances.
KWSP?
Also
Well,
psychosocial.
I think, of course, the cost is one of the issues that will determine whether you will actually go, for your bariatric surgery or not. But the most important thing is that you have to understand the journey that you're going to go through. Nowadays, we have a lot of bariatric group support. You can always engage with them.
I don't want people to ask me anymore, don't. Because I've got so many inquiries. Can you please tell me your
Maybe not Chef Zam. Maybe not Chef
anymore.
Zam. Maybe not Chef
Too
Zam.
long.
You can find Dr. Shukri in
Dr.
IKN.
Shukri is here.
We have a lot of bariatric support group who have actually undergone various kind of surgery and therapy from various doctors in Malaysia. You can ask them to ask their experience.
There's
And-
social media support groups as well.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, you choose one doctor or one institution for you to have a follow-up and maintain their follow-up. Maintain your follow-up. And of course, you must be prepared, okay, mentally, physically. And with or without the advice from the doctor, you must make sure you have to change your lifestyle.
True.
Okay? Be active, engage with some kind of exercise that you can consistently doing it, throughout your journey in this bariatric, treatment.
Okay. Anything else that maybe Chef Zam-
Of course, there are some failed cases, but due to whatever reason lah. But never mind, go and see him.
yeah. If you fail in your, in your effort to reduce your weight, do not shy away.
Right.
Please come back.
Right.
Please come back and see us. There are various means and ways how we can actually help you. And there are actually one or two things that we need to, mitigate so that you are back on track.
Right. You know what? It is very, very exciting when after you finish, you've done your surgery, you see that the scale is going down, and that should motivate you more. True, like I could lose a few kilos within the first week or second week or third week. It keeps going down, but at the same time, after a while, it will be stagnant. Yeah, again, it will stop. You will stop losing weight, but that's when you have to take charge.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much to Dr. Shukri and also Datuk Chef Zam.
Sama-sama.
Yeah. Okay. So I think just a few key principles and also key points that I would like just to summarize. Number one, of course, the input and output that you are taking, whatever you consume, and also how much calories that you're burning that you burn after that is very, very important to maintain a healthy weight and also a healthy lifestyle. Also, engage yourself in an active. Just choose whatever. Maybe sports, whatever activities nowadays. They have pickleball, they have a lot of futsal, whatever it is. Just
But not mahjong lah.
Make sure that you have to
Mahjong,
move
carrom
around.
doesn't work.
Anything that you have to, sweat and move around and burn calories, which is very, very important nowadays. And if you have any doubts or inquiry, just please get to the real, I would say the reliable sources like Dr. Shukri, which is in IKN, or any other, I would say health support
Professional.
Yeah.
Yes, and also don't just rely on what you read on the social media, because of course we have to understand a lot of things are not very true inside it. So you have to get directly to the experts. Like Dr. Shukri, he's in Institute Cancer Negara, and also you have the social support group, like what has been mentioned.
Please block me.
Okay, so to all of our audience, I hope you have enjoyed our session for today. Don't forget to follow all Sinar Daily social media platforms and download Sinar Daily new and improved mobile application. Stay tuned for our next episode next month. Till then, take care, stay healthy, and don't forget to count your calories. Let's fight obesity and metabolic syndrome together towards a healthy nation. Hopefully next year we will be no longer number one. Hopefully,
Yep.
Mr. Shukri. All right. So I'll see you guys again next month. Assalamualaikum. Bye.